total lunar eclipse in Virgo. Where do you seek legacy? 14th of March 2025, 6:54 a.m. in Universal Time at 23 degrees 56 minutes of Virgo. The legacy we leave behind. Allow me to explore for you some of the astrological threads of the full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. Maybe we can even begin to weave some together by sharing and breathing life into them. I'm Sonia from Celestia Astrology. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoy this post, I'd be so grateful for your likes, your comments, and your subscribes. It really helps me know that you've enjoyed this content and honours the energy exchange. With this lunar eclipse in Virgo, we are invited to consider our legacy. We are offered karmic, universal support to release habits, material possessions, overthinking, or our quest for unattainable perfection. Has this ever supported you, or has it harmed you and held you back? Where do you find your legacy? Maybe in your family, and the memories and ways that you have contributed to family life, your friends and wider circles, your work, your fortune, what you have built or removed, or ways that you have helped others. What legacy would you choose if you could? As the sun and moon oppose each other in a supercharged full moon at 23 degrees of Virgo, conjunct the south node in Virgo and the north node and Saturn in Pisces, the reflected light of the moon becomes temporarily blocked by the earth as the alignment forms and then separates. You can find out exactly if this is visible and at what time for your location at timeanddate.com. The significance of a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses can be powerful turning points, especially when they impact on natal planets or points in our charts. They can bring moments of clarity, revelation, and completion, or begin a process which unfolds slowly. Chris Brennan of the Astrology podcast, who has conducted extensive research on eclipses, tells us they usher in great beginnings and great endings. Full moon, especially an eclipse one, marks an ending, culmination, or release. These lunations can be intense, often pushing us towards decisive action, breakthroughs, or necessary closures. However, events may often be seemingly insignificant at first and grow into greater endings to create room for significant beginnings over time. During a total lunar eclipse, the Earth moves between the Sun and Moon as they come into this perfect alignment in the sky, casting the Moon into the Earth's shadow. This creates a temporary loss of reflected light in the Moon, a moment where something once visible is obscured, only to return with deeper insight once the shadow passes. This particular eclipse is on the Virgo-Pisces axis, balancing themes of material reality versus the unseen world and practical legacy. 3 ways to work with this lunar cycle. The monthly cycle. Reflect on what is culminating now from the new moon 2 weeks earlier and what new structures need to be put in place. 6-month cycle. This full moon connects back to the new moon in Virgo on the 3rd of September 2024. What was initiated or which seeds were planted for you then, and what results are emerging for you now. 2-year moon family cycle. This eclipse is part of a larger lunar arc that began in September 2023 and will conclude in December 2025. Consider what long-term changes have been unfolding. The moon families are a longer sequence of interconnected lunations that weave a narrative over 28 months. This practice of connecting and linking the hidden threads of lunar cycles is outlined by Dietrich Pessin in Lunar Shadows 3. The 2-year family cycle began with the new moon at 21 degrees of Virgo on September the 15th, 2023. The story then unfolds in phases until the last quarter moon on December the 11th, 2025. Each phase builds upon the last, revealing key developments in a longer story. The Virgo moon family is most felt by those with planets or angles in the mutable signs, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces and Gemini, or the Earth triplicity, Virgo, Capricorn and Taurus, between 17 to 26 degrees. Also, those with Mercury as their chart ruler or lord of the year. You may choose to consciously work with any of these cycles and choose the length that suits how long it will take to grow your plans. For example, for a quick short-term goal, the monthly cycle is perfect. But for longer-term plans, look for a moon family that connects with the relevant planet in your chart for optimum results. An astrologer or astro coach can support you with this. Tracking the phases of the moon family. Each phase marks a turning point in your Virgo story, related to the themes of that house in your natal chart, combined with the themes of your natal Mercury placement and where it is transiting. So for the new moon in 2023, we consider it as the seed, a new beginning related to work, health, routines, skill building and service. Questions to ask. What practical intentions did you set? What new habits or responsibilities emerged? First quarter moon, June the 14th, 2024 at 23 degrees of Virgo. Action and challenge, a moment of growth, effort, and first results. How have your Virgoan themes developed? What options, obstacles, or adjustments have appeared? Full Moon Lunar Eclipse, happening now at March 14th, 2025 at 23 degrees of Virgo. Revelation and culmination, climax, moment of truth or a major turning point. What is coming now into full view? What habits, projects, or situations reach a peak or need to be released? And looking ahead to the last quarter moon on December the 11th, 2025 at 20 degrees of Virgo, which will be a reflection and reorientation, time to integrate lessons, make adjustments, and prepare for closure. How do you complete this cycle, and what wisdom will you take into the next one? How to work with this lunar family cycle. If the moon family impacts your chart in any way, you may find this helpful. Journal at each phase. Reflect on Virgoan themes in your life at every stage. Notice Virgo-related areas, for example, work, health, daily habits, organisation, and self-improvement. And look for patterns. What started at the new moon in September 2023 may now culminate at the eclipse in 25. Do any of the dates we have already experienced mark a turning point for you? The astrology of this lunar eclipse. On 14th of March, the full moon at 23 degrees of Virgo will be totally eclipsed. This occurs in the third decan of Virgo, a decan associated with legacy, inheritance and value judgment. It asks us to reflect on what we leave behind, materially, emotionally and spiritually. The eclipse can bring accelerated changes in the area of your life occupied by Virgo in your chart. A lunar eclipse can be like a much more enhanced, supercharged full moon. It brings culminations, revelations, and endings. The earthly, analytical wisdom of Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, pragmatic, discerning, and meticulous, ruled by the messenger planet Mercury, who, after the moon, travels closest to Earth of any of the planets. Mercury travels faster and further than any other planet, reaching places that others in their orbit simply cannot. This and the frequent, regular retrogrades are also why he is known to be able to travel easily across boundaries and borders between worlds. In exaltation, as well as domicile in Virgo, Mercury is the only planet to have this dual rulership. What responsibilities does this bring? Can Mercury ever relax to enjoy the gifts of exaltation when combined with the duty of domicile rulership? Mercury rules our thought processes, so is this why Virgo can be plagued with overthinking and a desire for unattainable perfection? Is this why one mistake on pages of perfect data can cause disruption in the mind, similar to the physical disruption caused to the princess, if you are familiar with the tale of the Princess and the Pea? Virgo is also a yin, or feminine, receptive, and mutable earth sign. As a sign, Virgo is highly attuned to detail, refinement, and practical mastery, making this lunar cycle one of discernment, organisation, and service. Virgo's receptivity is introspective, seeking efficiency, clarity, and purification. The mutable nature of Virgo brings adaptability, but it also requires discernment to avoid the traps of perfectionism or paralysing over-analysis. This eclipse cycle may push us to fine-tune our approach, eliminate what has become inefficient, and align our efforts with true purpose. Those of us with planets or angles in Virgo, which are activated by this eclipse cycle, may find the time emphasises discernment, organisation, refinement and service, with an evolving narrative around clarity, purification and practical action over time. This eclipse belongs to the Saros series 123 and is the 53rd in the series. Bernadette Brady classifies it as Saros series 09 New North, which started on the 21st of August 1964 and ended September 18th, 2908, and pairs it with the Aries eclipse on the 29th of March. It has historically been associated with physical action, exertion, and sudden events. According to Bernadette Brady, in her book Predictive Astrology, The Eagle and the Lark, this series can manifest as breakthroughs, physical effort, or sudden accidents. The best approach, she advises, is to stay engaged with life, but cautiously and aware. You may want to reflect back on previous eclipses in the same series. If these were memorable dates for you, this series of eclipses may be impactful, with similar themes, but not the same as before. Both you and the astrology are different now. If they passed without event, you may not need to feel any astrology anxiety about the upcoming eclipses. Previous eclipses in these series were in 2007, 1989, 1971 and 1953. When you reflect on those years, were there themes of sudden change, physical effort, or endings that reshaped your path? The inception of this series had a Venus and Mercury conjunction, with Mars on the Uranus-Pluto midpoint, which offers the delineation from Bernadette Brady, a very physically expressive Saros series. Accidents, great physical effort, violence, or any sudden physical events. These can be experienced positively, for example the first time snow skiing, or it can be felt negatively in terms of accidents and so on. The approach to take when this Saros series is affecting a chart is not to hide away, but to undertake some physical activity with an ever-watchful eye to safety. The third decan of Virgo is co-ruled by Mercury and Venus. This part of Virgo asks us to consider what truly holds value for us, not just in terms of wealth, but also in the stories, wisdom and lessons we pass down. Virgo 3, the final decan of Virgo, is a place of reckoning, preservation and inheritance. Austin Coppock refers to this decan as the sarcophagus, a symbol of both the wisdom of the past and the inevitability of endings. He writes that the last decan of Virgo shows that the fate of all matter to be brought to perfection and then crumble to dust. Kira Ryberg calls the decan psychopomp, which ties this space to the threshold between worlds, where the living reflect upon what endures beyond them as they approach the twilight of their time on the material plane. Wealth may have been accrued, but it cannot accompany the soul for the next journey. It is a place where value judgments are made, what is worth keeping, passing down, or laying to rest. Like a tomb that safeguards the relics of a bygone era, Virgo 3 holds the weight of tradition, duty, and legacy. At the time of this eclipse, we are invited to acknowledge both what we must preserve and what we must release, understanding that endings are not losses, but transitions in an ongoing cycle. The Virgo 3 Wild Way Oracle card. The Wild Way card, Legacy, by Nicola Allen, reminds us that everything must end, and that acceptance of this truth leads to greater clarity and wisdom. Inheritance, material or spiritual, is part of the cycle. We are given the keywords, value judgments, all things must end, and inheritance. The elderly doe is seen in the card resting in the grasses among the shelter of the trees, watching over her young, who stands looking alert and ready to face all that life has to offer. It is not always easy to accept, but all things must come to an end. All living beings will eventually return to the earth, and in time, all material possessions will turn to dust. With this knowledge, the elderly Virgo 3 doe encourages you to focus on what is truly valuable and to reflect upon what you might leave behind. It may be material wealth, but it could just as easily be the fruits of your imagination or the family you lovingly bring into the world. What will your legacy be? We must also learn to live in the moment. Carpe diem, the little one cries. The tarot symbolism of Virgo 3, the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is a card associated with the third decan of Virgo, embodying the themes already mentioned of inheritance, legacy, and material or spiritual wealth. This card signifies the culmination of long-term efforts, maybe over a lifetime. As an elderly gentleman with family, a couple in the Rider-Waite deck reflects on what they have accumulated, often manifesting as established security, wisdom passed down through generations, or the lasting impact of one's work. It may soon be time to pass the baton to the next generation. The gentleman is seen enjoying the company of his dog, and possibly is unconcerned with the accumulated coins surrounding them. Simple pleasures have replaced ambition. How it aligns with the Wild Way legacy theme. Virgo 3, ruled by Mercury and Venus, brings a focus on value judgment, refinement, and the appreciation of what endures. The Wild Way's description, all things must end, ties deeply to the Ten of Pentacles, which asks us to consider what will remain after us, not just in material wealth, but also in the lessons we impart, the lives we touch, and the traditions we uphold and pass on to others. The Virgoan influence demands practical application, ensuring that our efforts will lead to something tangible and meaningful. T. Susan Chang's Tree of Life. Guardian spirit of the land, your riches spill into my hand. Of all possessions you can measure, silence is my buried treasure. From realms above to realms below, legacies that I bestow. I have paid for what I know. The tree of life, where all things grow. This poetic verse beautifully captures the essence of the Ten of Pentacles. The guardian spirit reflects the Virgoan reverence for tradition and stewardship, while riches spill into my hand, acknowledges both the material and spiritual wealth inherited from those before us. The line, "Silence is my buried treasure," aligns with Virgo's introspective, wisdom-seeking nature, valuing understanding over extravagance. The tree of life imagery ties into the cyclical nature of legacy, emphasizing that what we cultivate today will nourish future generations. This fits perfectly with the Virgo 3 archetype, where the end of a cycle is not merely loss but transformation. What has been built now serves as the foundation for what comes next, and is built upon what came before. This Virgo eclipse is a time to ask, what structures or habits in my life are no longer sustainable? What am I ready to release, knowing I outgrew it long ago? What values and knowledge do I wish to leave behind? Am I holding on to something that should be let go? The astrological aspects, Sun conjunct Saturn and co-present with Neptune and North Node, a blend of structure and dissolution. Saturn demands accountability, while Neptune dissolves illusions. This can bring realizations about long-term goals, disillusionment, or a need to balance practicality with dreams. Saturn, Neptune and the Sun are co-present with the North Node, highlighting a karmic fusion of discipline, dreams and self-expression with the broader collective direction. This alignment and the opposition to the Moon and South Node eclipse in Virgo calls for integrating responsibility with vision, while navigating shifts in both personal and collective purpose. The weight of reality versus dreams dissolving. Saturn teaches us structure, responsibility and accountability, while Neptune dissolves those boundaries, bringing spiritual insight, confusion or disillusionment. This may feel like a time where idealism meets reality. Some may feel this pull of polarities. It may be a crisis of faith, or while you seek tangible ways to bring dreams into form, reflect on, where am I clinging to illusions instead of facing reality? How can I create structures that align with my deeper purpose? Eclipse ruler Mercury stationary in Aries, turning retrograde at 9 degrees on the 15th of March. As the ruler of the eclipse, Mercury's station is particularly significant. Mercury stands momentarily still, an in-breath and pause before turning retrograde. Mercury in Aries would be bold, direct and action-oriented, with our thoughts and words, but the impending retrograde signals a need to pause, review and reconsider before charging ahead. Communications, plans and decisions made now may require revision, re-evaluation or reflection in the coming weeks. Aries, a sign of initiation and action, is now asked to hesitate. This creates a tension between the impulse to act and the need for reflection, particularly in mercurial matters, communication, decision-making and movement. Things are temporarily stalled, just as the moon's light is eclipsed, offering a staggering testimony of the need to stop, reflect, and be ready to flow with a change in direction. Reflect on delays and reversals. What was set in motion may now slow down, requiring revision or rethinking. Unfinished business, conversations or ideas from the past may resurface, offering new insights. Internal versus external communication. Notice where words fail or where understanding is complicated by misinterpretation. Rethinking initiatives, especially those launched recently, as Mercury's retrograde motion calls for reassessment. Lessons in patience. Aries thrives on direct action, but Mercury's pause suggests a different pace, one of observation before movement. This stationing moment invites us to embrace the wisdom of Virgo 3's themes of legacy, structure and endings, ensuring that what we choose to move forward with is refined and aligned with deeper truths. The eclipse may offer signs along the way of where our path should head. Trine Uranus, a push for freedom, innovation and unexpected shifts. This suggests that letting go may open new and surprising doors. New insights or breakthroughs may arrive with ease when we pause. Uranus, known as the Great Awakener, shakes up the status quo, bringing unpredictable but liberating changes. This aspect suggests that while endings are happening, they might come with sudden opportunities for freedom or reinvention. Reflect on what unexpected changes are emerging, and how can I embrace them? How is my relationship with security evolving? Whole sign aspect. Whole sign square to Jupiter, the ruler of the Sun in Pisces. Jupiter expands what it touches. In this square aspect to both the Sun and Moon, it may amplify tensions, exaggerate details, the quest for perfection, or challenge existing beliefs. Be mindful of overreaching, unrealistic expectations, or getting lost in the data. Overexpansion versus discernment. Jupiter in Gemini has been expanding our ideas and possibilities, but the square to the eclipse suggests confusion, overcommitting, or struggling to find clear direction. To resolve this, reflect on, am I trying to do too much instead of focusing on what truly matters? What beliefs about success or abundance need refining? Sextile Mars in Cancer. Mars is newly direct in Cancer, still in the shadow of its retrograde, retracing its steps until it reaches Leo. This can bring a shift in momentum, especially in emotional and protective matters. We have a chance now to put right what was undone with the retrograde. This could signify a readiness to act after a period of reflection or internal processing. Mars in sextile may bring opportunities for the release that the eclipse asks us to surrender to. Mars gives emotional courage to take necessary steps, or offers to cut away what has been holding us back, easing us into the release. It provides the drive to protect what matters and release what we have outgrown. Where am I feeling called to take a bold but heartfelt step? How can I channel emotions into productive action? Sun and Venus in contra Antiscia. A hidden or indirect relationship between the Sun and Venus suggests subtle or shadow undercurrents in relationships, values, and creative expression. Themes of hidden desires, unseen dynamics, or choices between duty and pleasure may surface. Hidden agreements and unseen influences, suggesting subtle but potentially powerful shifts in relationships, values, and self-worth. Reflect on, are there any hidden connections or dynamics influencing your relationships? How is your sense of value and self-worth evolving? Astro coaching, working with this eclipse. Generally, I do not personally work with eclipse energy. It can be chaotic and unpredictable. I prefer to do my own personal grounding rituals, surrendering to what is, and journaling to notice the small things that may become a larger part of my eclipse story with time. However, if you want to work more intentionally, I suggest following the above reflection prompts. And here are some other suggestions. Setting eclipse goals. Releasing and building a lasting legacy. Given Virgo's emphasis on discernment and legacy, this eclipse is best used to clear out what you have outgrown, whether it's clutter, habits, outdated goals, or limiting beliefs. Solidify meaningful structures. Set up sustainable plans for health, work, or long-term projects. Define your legacy. Consider what you're creating, contributing, or passing down. Final thoughts. The wisdom we can find in endings. This Virgo lunar eclipse reminds us that endings are not loss. Rather, they can be seen as invitations to redefine what truly matters. This can be a powerful moment of clarity, urging us to release what we have outgrown and to take intentional steps towards what supports and aligns with us now. What legacy are you building? What structures need to be refined or released? As this eclipse unfolds, you can trust that what is leaving makes space for what is truly meant to endure. As one door closes, another opens. Release with love, gratitude, and thanks. And if you can't, at least with the knowledge that there is a path unfolding that you cannot yet fully see. At the time of publishing, it is not too late to learn more about eclipses by joining the Astrology Severe Kairos Eclipse Portals 2025 Fate, Flow and Transformation Workshop. There is a discount code available to paying subscribers. Find it in the paid subscribers chat thread. Sign up now to get the code to my Substack, the Astrology Severe Kairos, or any of the Ask Astrologers to get discounts on this and future offerings. It's a 3-hour live workshop with a workbook and breakout sessions. Explore the March eclipses, past cycles, personal impact, and we offer rituals for alignment. You will get live and the recorded access. Whether you can attend live or not, you'll receive the recording. All 5 Ask Astrologers will be collaborating. You'll get a detailed workbook with resources. And it's on a sliding scale pricing from $18 to $52. Choose the price that fits your budget. It's going to be on March the 12th, 2025 at 12 p.m. Central Time. And I believe that's going to be 5 p.m. in the UK. And it will be held on Zoom by the Astrology Kairos Astrology Collective. And that's the astrologers Krista Hamilton, myself, Sonia Geary, Shauna Middleton, Janessa Quinn, and Mandy Ray will all be hosting. And it will include 2 hours of teaching and followed by a breakout session with mini readings. So you get all of that for less than the price of a mini reading with an astrologer. So it's fantastic value when you consider everything that you get to keep afterwards. So it's not too late to sign up, but do it quickly because spaces are limited. Okay, travel well, friends.